The garage door rattled under a barrage of pounding fists, the sound slicing through the warm April afternoon like a warning shot. Inside, Laura Bennett froze mid-demonstration, her client, Emily, pausing with a nervous glance. Laura, a former MMA fighter with a steely gaze and a 12-3 professional record, had converted her three-car garage into a pristine self-defense studio, mats gleaming, equipment neatly aligned, soundproofing ensuring their work stayed private. But the man outside, bellowing, "HOA inspection! Open up now!" wasn't here for pleasantries. Laura's phone, silenced during sessions, buzzed unnoticed with a text from her husband, Tom. "Richard Coleman and his lackey are coming. They're wearing HOA police shirts. Be careful." She wouldn't see it until it was too late. Tom and Laura Bennett, both in their early 40s, had moved to Willow Creek 3 years ago, drawn by its manicured lawns, community pool, and promise of suburban peace. Tom, a remote software developer specializing in security systems, and Laura, now running a small business training women in self-defense, thought they'd found their forever home. Their colonial-style house, perched on a quarter-acre lot, boasted a garage perfect for Laura's studio, where she trained a select group of 6 women middle-aged professionals seeking confidence and practical skills. For 2 years, life was idyllic. They paid their HOA dues $1 of the month, and enjoyed neighbors' curiosity about Laura's classes. Then Richard Coleman, a 40-year-old corporate manager with a penchant for control, won the HOA presidency in a low-turnout election, and everything changed. Richard campaigned on upholding standards, but his reign felt more like tyranny. The community newsletter turned from friendly to foreboding, warning of violations with a zealot's fervor. He began compliance walks, clipboard in hand, nitpicking every minor infraction. His first visit to the Bennett's home was all smiles, but his eyes lingered on Laura, her athletic frame drawing a smirk he didn't bother to hide. "Heard you're running some kind of fight club," he said, chuckling without warmth. Laura explained her permitted business, the soundproofing, the city-approved setup. Richard's response, "I'll need to see those permits," carried a tone that made Tom's skin crawl. It was the start of a vendetta. Within weeks, violation notices appeared on their door. The first cited unsightly equipment, visible through garage windows, demanding the door stay closed and blinds be installed. Laura complied, but another notice followed, accusing her of unauthorized commercial activity. She sent Richard copies of her permits, including prior HOA approval, only for him to show up unannounced, dismissing them as under review. His eyes roamed over Laura, his suggestion of discussing this over dinner, dripping with insinuation. When she rebuffed him, his face darkened. "We'll see about that," he snapped, storming off. At the next HOA meeting, Richard pushed to revise home business rules, dismissing Laura's question about specific complaints with a vague, "They're confidential." Neighbors, like their next-door ally Margaret, whispered warnings. Richard's interest in Laura wasn't professional. He'd been rebuffed by her at a pool event and hadn't let it go. The harassment escalated. Anonymous noise complaints piled up, despite Laura's decibel meter proving her sessions were quieter than city limits. A client found a threatening note on her car. "Your car will be towed next time." Another noticed her vehicle scratched after a session. Then Laura caught someone peering through the garage windows, vanishing before she could confront them. Tom, leveraging his expertise, upgraded their security with high-definition cameras and cloud storage, sensing Richard's campaign was personal. Their lawyer confirmed Laura's business was legal, and a city inspector praised their compliance, but Richard persisted, undeterred by an emergency HOA meeting where neighbors and a petition backed Laura. His new complaints shifted to excessive traffic and safety concerns, with clients photographed revying for sessions. The breaking point came that April afternoon. Laura was training Emily when Richard, flanked by his newly appointed compliance officer, Nathan Reed, stormed toward the garage. Both wore black polos emblazoned with HOA police, and fake badges, clipboards and cameras in tow. Tom, across town picking up equipment, saw the alert on his security app and raced home, but he was too far. Richard ducked under the partially open garage door, Nathan trailing, and declared, "This is an official inspection. We've got complaints about illegal activity." Laura stood firm. "This is private property. Leave now." Richard ignored her, turning to Emily. "Ma'am, you're participating in an unauthorized operation. The HOA could sue." Emily shrank back, rattled. When Laura reiterated her permits, Richard stepped closer, his voice low and menacing. "Those are suspended. This business is done." Laura warned she'd call the police, but Nathan blocked her path to the house, citing a non-existent HOA inspection right. Richard grabbed a training pad, announcing he'd confiscate it. Laura's voice was steel. "Put that down and leave." Instead, Richard seized her arm, his grip bruising as he barked, "This operation is shut down." In a flash, Laura's training took over. She twisted free, swept his leg, and sent him crashing onto the mats, winded. Nathan lunged, but Laura sidestepped, locking his arm and forcing him to his knees. "Emily, call the police," she said, calm as stone, pinning Richard with her foot. "Tell them 2 men broke in and 1 assaulted me." The security footage captured it all: Richard's illegal entry, his assault, Laura's controlled response. As they waited, Richard thrashed, shouting, "You assaulted an HOA official!" Laura corrected him. "You're trespassers. That's a crime." Emily relayed Tom's warning about the HOA police, shirts, and Laura noted their impersonation of authority. When Tom arrived with police, the officers watched the footage, their skepticism of Richard's inspection claims growing. The HOA police, shirts and badges were damning, Officer Daniels called them a serious problem. Richard and Nathan were arrested for criminal trespass, with Richard facing assault charges. Neighbors, gathered outside, shared stories of Richard's intimidation, breaking his spell over Willow Creek. The aftermath was seismic. Richard's HOA files revealed a watch list targeting 20 families, with obsessive notes on Laura photos, schedules, even a neighborhood improvement plan to oust undesirables. His emails, uncovered by Nathan's plea deal, exposed the stalking campaign, with hundreds of covert photos of Laura. A search of Richard's home found a dossier on her, fueled by his resentment over her rejection. He was convicted on multiple charges, including stalking and official oppression, sentenced to 2 years in prison. A class-action lawsuit against him and the HOA followed, with the Bennetts settling separately for a substantial sum and a restraining order. Willow Creek transformed. A new HOA board, with Tom elected, passed the Homeowner Protection Act curbing board power. Laura's free self-defense workshops empowered women, and their story, featured on local news, sparked city-wide HOA reforms. The community, once fractured, became a true neighborhood, free from Richard's tyranny. Laura's studio thrived, her waiting list growing, but her real Tory was teaching others to stand firm. As Tom put it, "Your home is your castle, HOA or not. Know your rights, document everything, and never let a bully with a clipboard win."
If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.